So my story of struggle of finding a solution to this goal setting in life, really, what this is really about, started back in my fifth grade when I entered school. I was a little kid. There was a lot of bullies back then, and back then they weren't called bullies, but it was tough, right? So I imagined this strategy that for me to survive, I had to make some kind of partnership with them. So my goal was to survive the bullies, and I figured out that if I helped them achieve their goals, that were simply get out of school fast, they would help me achieve my goal, that is survive, right? And the interesting thing is that I helped them turn their grades around. They actually uh, had great grades. The teachers were absolutely amazed by what I have done with them. Um, but the most amazing thing happened like 20 years later when I've run across one of those guys that I helped, and he remembered my first and last name and remembered what we've done together, and that's the most amazing feeling that you can have in life. So that was back then. That was the start of what my purpose is in life, but I just didn't know it back then. But somewhere along the way, I lost my connection with that purpose. I started studying for a computing engineering degree. I've earned that degree. I started working as a web software developer. I've been doing that for since 2005, so it's 7 years now. I felt like that wasn't enough to make that meaningful impact that I wanted to make in life. So I started studying for the master degree in management. I finished it last year while working at my day job, and launching the Rabbit Way in this course is the result of that launch. So even though the craziest thing is, even though I achieved all that, three major big goals, I felt like something was still missing. I felt, instead of feeling happy that I achieved those goals, I felt relieved, and that something else was still missing from the picture. So how could this be happening? I thought myself, and this promise that achieving goals will bring you happiness was broken, and that's the reason why people are in this never-ending loop or pattern, repetitive pattern of setting goals. They don't feel fulfilled, so they set bigger goals. Those who do achieve those bigger goals end up feeling like something else is missing, so they set bigger and bigger and bigger goals, and there's no end to it, and they don't figure out what's missing. And I've entered a journey teaching, no, studying. First we have to study before you can teach, right? So I studied with masters like Ken Blanchard, Harvey Mackay, Zig Ziglar, Bob Berg, Seth Godin, and Tony Robbins, and the greatest teacher of all times, Jesus, to figure out what life is about. Because what's the point of setting goals if you do not know what's the point with life? Right? So what's the use of setting goals if you do not know what's the big purpose of what we're here to do? And I found my purpose, and now goals make more sense, because it's not about just setting goals, it's about setting worthwhile goals that are aligned with my purpose. And that's what we're going to help you do on the Leading Life Beyond Goals course. So I'll see you on the next video when I'm going to share with you a little more about my quest for a solution. I'll see you next